Napoleon rose from revolution, conquered Europe, and lost everything. 18th century Europe was ruled by kings and ancient empires.
Power was concentrated in the hands of a few royal families, while ordinary people lived in poverty and hunger.
France was collapsing under massive debt.
The burden of taxes fell almost entirely on the poor. New ideas of freedom and equality were spreading. Europe's kings felt their thrones beginning to shake.
France stood on the edge of revolt.
Public anger was ready to explode. A storm was coming to Europe. In 1789, the French Revolution erupted. The fall of the Bastille shattered the old order. Even the king was no longer safe. France executed its monarchy.
France became a republic.
Europe watched in fear as revolution spread across France. Alliances formed to crush the revolution and restore the old order. War consumed the continent as France defended its newfound ideals. From chaos, new leaders emerged, ready to change history. One name would soon dominate Europe: Napoleon Bonaparte. A boy from Corsica harbored extraordinary ambition and dreams. Napoleon treated warfare as a precise science, not just brute force. In Italy, his military genius became undeniable. France found its hero and rallied behind him. But victory was only the beginning of his historic rise.
Napoleon seized power, changing France forever.
France now answered to a single man with unchallenged authority.
He rebuilt the army into a disciplined, unstoppable force. Napoleon boldly challenged the entire continent. In 1804, Napoleon crowned himself emperor, shocking Europe. A bold gesture that challenged centuries of monarchical tradition. Europe's monarchs grew wary, sensing a new threat rising. France's army became a disciplined and unstoppable force.
Powerful empires stood ready to oppose Napoleon's ambitions.
Austerlitz would decide the fate of Europe. Napoleon outsmarted his enemies with precise strategy. In one decisive day, history shifted under Napoleon's command.
Austerlitz became Napoleon's masterpiece of military brilliance.
The old European order was shattered, and Napoleon reshaped the continent. A 1,000-year-old empire vanished before the new order. Napoleon stood at the peak of power, unchallenged across Europe.
Yet Britain remained an unconquered challenge, controlling the seas. The battle for naval supremacy would be decisive.
Britain crushed Napoleon's fleet, dominating the seas and halting his invasion plans.
The seas now belonged to Britain, halting Napoleon's ambitions of invasion. Invading England became an impossible task for Napoleon. He attempted to weaken Britain through economic warfare with the continental system.
Yet the system gradually failed as illicit trade continued across Europe.
Spain erupted in rebellion, draining French resources and morale. This new form of warfare exhausted France in ways Napoleon had never encountered.
Britain struck Napoleon's forces on land, joining Spain's resistance.
His attention now turned toward Russia, seeking dominance over the East.
Russia boldly defied Napoleon, refusing to comply with his continental system.
600,000 men marched into Russia, confident and unrelenting. Russia refused direct confrontation, destroying everything in the French path.
Hunger and the bitter cold began to devastate Napoleon's army.
One of history's bloodiest battles tested Napoleon's might and strategy.
He captured Moscow, but the city offered no victory.
The city's burning left Napoleon's army trapped in a frozen nightmare. Winter became Napoleon's deadliest enemy, claiming the lives of thousands. The retreat through Russia turned into a nightmare, decimating the Grand Army.
The once mighty army was left broken and shattered.
Europe sensed weakness and prepared to challenge Napoleon once more.
Old enemies mobilized, ready to reclaim power from France.
Former allies turned against Napoleon, aligning to defeat him. Russia sought revenge, bringing their might directly against Napoleon.
The Battle of Nations erupted, involving every major European power.
Napoleon's army was defeated, forced to retreat in disarray. The war had reached French soil, threatening the heart of Napoleon's empire. Even the capital itself was no longer safe from invasion. Napoleon surrendered his crown, acknowledging defeat. Europe was redesigned as leaders sought to restore balance and prevent future domination. Napoleon returned to France, welcomed as a hero once more. Europe panicked, realizing the threat of Napoleon's resurgence. The final battle approached as Europe gathered to confront him. Waterloo would determine Napoleon's ultimate fate. Wellington's forces stood unyielding, repelling wave after wave. Prussian reinforcements turned the tide against Napoleon's forces. Napoleon's army crumbled, unable to withstand the Allied onslaught. The empire Napoleon built lay in ruins on the field of Waterloo. This time, there was no escape. His defeat was absolute. He was exiled to St. Helena, far from the lands he once ruled. An empire became memory as he recorded his final reflections. Napoleon died in 1821, leaving behind a world forever changed. Europe sought balance after years of turmoil and destruction. The Napoleonic Code became his lasting contribution to law and governance.
His wars inspired new nations and ignited the spirit of nationalism.
Europe attempted to restore balance through diplomacy rather than war.
The map of Europe was redesigned to prevent another Napoleon. Monarchies returned, but the world was no longer the same.
Revolutionary ideas survived, quietly spreading beneath the surface.
Napoleon's era awakened political consciousness across Europe.
His influence reshaped institutions, not just borders. The Napoleonic Code became the foundation of modern legal systems. Modern citations
Napoleon became both a hero and a warning.
Historians continue to debate his legacy. He was both a visionary and a conqueror. His wars reshaped Europe for generations.
Nationalism rose from the ashes of empire.
Europe moved toward a modern future.
One man had altered the destiny of millions.
His story became legend, studied across the world.
Peace, though fragile, finally returned to Europe. The age of Napoleon came to an end. Empires fall, but ideas outlive empires. The Napoleonic Wars reshaped Europe forever.